Nice launch trajectory and countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Hello everyone and happy Saturday. On your screen right now is a live view of the Falcon 9 rocket as it waits for its 7:25 a.m. Pacific time launch from Slick 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. Today's launch marks SpaceX's 260th launch overall and our 61st launch of the year. My name is Zachary Lupin, and I'm an avionics reliability engineer here at SpaceX, joining you from our headquarters about 150 miles southeast of the launch site. In just under 11 minutes from now, we'll be sending the Space Development Agency's second Tranche 0 mission to low Earth orbit. For those of you following along, you'll know we stood down from our last 2 launch attempts. During standard pre-launch checkouts on Thursday morning, one of the first stage engines was not responding as expected. The team worked through that issue during the countdown, but ultimately decided to stand down for the day to take a closer look. Similarly, during yesterday's launch attempt, a valve on the ground support equipment was behaving out of family. After completing checkouts yesterday and verifying the vehicle and ground support equipment is healthy, we're back into the count and not tracking any blockers to launch at this point. As mentioned, today's mission is for our customer SDA in support of their overall constellation called the Proliferated Warfighter Space Architecture, or PWSA for short. Along with delivering the SDA's 11 payloads to orbit, SpaceX also designed and built 2 of the mission payloads that will serve as part of the PWSA's tracking layer, which will provide global indications, warning, tracking, and targeting of advanced missile threats, including hypersonic missile systems. The SDA prioritizes speed by leveraging commercial advances and delivering capabilities on 2-year timelines, with the goal of quickly delivering space-based capabilities to support terrestrial missions through development, fielding, and operation of the PWSA. The payloads on board will allow combatant commands to start to develop their exercise and operational plans around access to data that they can expect to receive from future tranches of their constellation. At just around the T-9 minute mark, the range is ready to support and weather is currently 90% favorable for launch. The vehicle and payload are in good health and tracking towards a T0 of 7:25 a.m. Pacific time. Now, it's also worth mentioning, at the request of our customer, we will not be sharing any views from the second stage today and will therefore end the webcast at around the T+8 minute mark just after Falcon 9 touches back down onto land. Located at the very top of Falcon 9 on your screen, we have the payload fairing, and it measures about 40 feet in length and 17 feet in diameter. Now, to put that size into perspective, an average fire truck is about 40 feet long and 12 feet wide, so a fire truck would fit comfortably inside our payload fairing. Now, while on Earth, the fairing's primary job is to protect the payload from contamination, and then at liftoff and through ascent, the fairing will also shield against aerothermal loads and heating. Once we reach the vacuum of space, we will jettison the fairing, and the second stage will continue on its journey to orbit, carrying the payload. The fairing halves supporting today's mission are both flight proven, with one half flying for its 5th time and the other flying for its 8th. Below the payload fairing is the second stage, which is responsible for propelling the payload to its drop-off orbit in space. Now, not only does SpaceX's second stage look similar to the first stage, which is the larger stage below, it also has the same diameter, uses the same metal in the tanks, same computers, same propellant, and nearly the same engine. And this allows us to use similar tooling, design, and systems, which results in greater efficiency and reliability. The first and second stages are connected by the black inner stage, which houses the pneumatic pushers that allow stage separation during flight. The inner stage also houses the second stage engine, called the Merlin vacuum engine, or MVAC engine. Moving down the rocket, the bottom 2/3 of the vehicle is the first stage and is the primary part of the rocket that gets reused multiple times. At the very bottom of the first stage are 9 Merlin M1D engines that accelerate the vehicle through the Earth's atmosphere and help it land back on Earth following stage separation. The first stage supporting today's mission is flying for its 13th time today and will be attempting to recover the booster back on land at landing zone 4 at Vandenberg. And if successful, this will mark our 222nd overall successful recovery of an orbital class rocket, including both Falcon 9 and Heavy first stage landings. If you're not too familiar with what getting to orbit actually means, in order to get the rocket and our payload into orbit, the rocket has to not only go up really fast, it also has to go sideways. As we ascend, we tilt the engines, the technical term for that being gimbling, and that turns the rocket horizontally. We're still going up, but now we are also heading horizontally away from the launch pad, and this is what we call a gravity turn. The rocket typically needs to go 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth and get into orbit. And to help demonstrate this concept, imagine firing a cannon from a really high mountain. The cannonball